Hi, Sue here from Mystic Matters. And this time on Exploring Popular Opinion, I want to look at the energy behind crime. Now, it's a massive subject, I know. I want to see what the cards are going to tell me about it. Is most crime due to greed? Is it due to desperation, anger, illness? It's just wanted to see what the cards say about the energy behind it. Why do people commit crimes? Do they think that crime is something that doesn't apply to them? It's interesting. Well, I find it interesting. Okay, so I'm going to have a look and see what the energy is behind crime. Okay. Well, starting off here, some people see it as a job. It's a way of maybe getting the money that they need to progress in life, because so many things that we really want to do, we need money to do them. And so if we want to start a business, we need to have some money to start it with. If we want to study, we need to have money to study with. This is kind of a perception. This is where crime is coming from. And sometimes people become career criminals because it's maybe an easier way of getting the things they need in life than holding down a job if they can get a job. So it's a lot to do with people trying to better themselves in some way, whether it be stealing somebody's money so they can feed their family. That's one element of it. So people see it as something akin to some people see it as something akin to a job, something that they need to do in order to better themselves or better their position in life. And there's a lot of vision that's put into it. A lot of people kind of quite focused on it. And there are many people that they see it as a career path, going back to that thing before. They can't get what they need through ordinary measures. And what people think they need is subjective. Some people think they just need enough food to feed themselves, their families, and other people feel that they need something extravagant. I said it's all subjective to what people feel they need. But there's a vision here. And there are many, many very clever criminals who are con men, for want of a better word, who can get people to buy into their vision, and make their lives better, but not necessarily the people that buy into the vision, their lives, that they end up the ones that get stung. But so there's a lot of intelligence also that goes into crime. It's not always just a kind of hit and miss affair. There's quite a bit of organization that can go into it, and it's basically to make their own lives better, even if it is to the detriment of someone else. This is interesting because this is the energy that's around the subject of crime, and it's kind of, who am I? What's my purpose? Why am I here on this planet? And sometimes people are motivated by this kind of inner push. I've got to achieve something, but I can't get it any other way. I try through getting a job and I'm underpaid, or I try through going to try and get government help if you can, but they say no, and I can see other people kind of getting what they need, and I can't get what I need to get me to the place that I know I need to be. So again, this is an internal push that people, it feels that the element of crime that I'm picking up here from the cards is more one of desperation, of people not knowing how to meet their needs or to fulfill their purpose through any other ways, because they're not getting the support they need from the people that they think they should be getting support from. So this is individuals going out saying, well, if I can't get help, if I can't get support, then I'm going to do it on my own. I'm going to go out and I'm going to achieve what I can in the best way I can to fulfill my life purpose, to fulfill what I want. The motivation is that people want to get money, resources. They want to look after themselves on a material level, on a financial level. So it's again, it feels very much here that there is this deep need to have more than they have, and they can't see any other way of achieving that, whether it's to do with conning other people out of their money, out of their possessions, or just fulfilling some kind of need they have within them. And some of this can be to do with anger. So they will go and actually physically hurt people because they have a need to express their anger, whereas they can't express it any other way because it's so pent up within them. It comes from this feeling of not being on solid ground. This is the past energy of around the energy of crime. Is not feeling strong, secure. Our intuition's telling us kind of one thing, but things keep changing. There's nothing, because some people are good at following their intuition and it leads them down. It makes their lives easier in some way, but for other people, they're more kind of attracted to I need to see it in front of me. My intuition is just my imagination. I need to, don't tell me that it will come. I want to see it here in front of me. And so there's a feeling of insecurity, not knowing what tomorrow will bring. Works for some people, it doesn't work for a lot of people. So by engaging in criminal activity, it's kind of trying to make life feeling a bit more solid. Know that, well, I've just stolen this £1,000, or I've just robbed this jewelry shop, so I know that I've got something now that is substantial, that I can use in order to better my life again. But it comes from a feeling of kind of insecurity, not feeling as though they're on solid ground. Near future here, we've got plans. So a lot of crime is very well thought out, very well planned. It's not, and these are the criminals that often get away with things. It's not like somebody just doing things off the cuff. There's kind of, where do I want to be in 3 months, 6 months? What do I need to do this? Okay, what do I have to do to get there? There's can be quite a lot of planning that goes into crime, but there's also this feeling around, because these are quite soft cards for a subject about crime, and there's a question: who says it's a crime? As long as people aren't hurt, who says it's a crime? And are the people that are setting the rules, are they obeying those rules as well? Is it a crime for one person and not a crime for another? So there's this kind of element of every man for themselves, because when criminal activity is seen within people who have got privilege, for instance, when that criminal activity is seen and there's no consequence, yet when somebody who hasn't got money and privilege, they do the same thing, they end up in jail. So there's this feeling also that, well they have kind of robbed people. Even if they've legalized it, they've robbed people. So why shouldn't I do the same? So there's that kind of element as well, saying, well, if it's not a crime for them, why is it crime for me? And so there's that kind of mixed into it as well. So what is a crime and what isn't a crime is quite a grey area, because it seems that people making the rules don't think they apply to them. I mean, obviously this isn't in all cases, but there's a feeling about it. Is this really a crime? You know, they do it. Is it a crime? So there's that kind of element. I mean, I'm not talking about kind of physical assaults and killing people and things that's a different ball game. But there's a lot of things that are observed as being, well, they can get away with it, why can't I? And that's part of it. People also think that if they have managed to get away with some crime, if they've planned something and they've gained from it, then it means that they will have an easier life. Like they can kind of do a bank job, for instance, and then with the proceeds of that, they can have the peaceful life that they want, with just ordinary everyday life, no dramas. So there's no kind of pressure. You know, there's no pressure to pay the bills or make sure that your car's paid up and things, because you've got now the money to do that. And so you can have an easier life, I said a less dramatic life, and just do everyday stuff without strife, without stress. And that's what money brings in this lifetime. There's also a feeling of peace, tranquility, knowing that your dreams are about to come to fruition, feeling that there's this kind of, I know where my heart lies. It's like very much the crime that's being answered by my cards is about desperate people using desperate measures just to get by because they can't get the help anywhere else. And I said, that's the element of crime that is being addressed here. So people just really just needing that boost, even if they have to take it from someone else, they need that boost in order to have some peace, away from desperation, just have ordinary life without strife, without worry, without concern, not knowing if they can feed their children, things like that. So this is the element of crime that's being looked at, that it's a means to an end. It's the only way people can see that they can actually survive. And here is the hopes and fears, and and by taking up this criminal lifestyle and taking what isn't being freely given, they feel they're in harmony with people around them, that there's a feeling of, I also have, I'm not an underdog. I can look after myself. Yes, it's not doing a 9 to 5, but I can look after myself, and I have this kind of I can think about kind of friendships, and I can think about relationships, because I'm not spending every waking moment wondering how, where my next meal's coming from, whether I'm going to be able to afford to stay living where I'm living. Am I going to be homeless? I can't indulge in friendships and relationships and be harmonious when I've got such overwhelming worries. And it's because I don't know, if I'm going to end up on the streets or not. So this is, and as a sort of victim, but not so much a victim, but in dangerous situations, purely because I don't have the money to get by. So there's this kind of feeling, and at the end, it's about sharing. If we had a system set up that people would share what they have, then there's many people that wouldn't resolve to any form of crime at all, because their needs would be met. Crime is very much about having to take what you aren't freely given. And this is a card of sharing. It's not about charity. It's maybe about a bartering system as well. You can live here if you help me tend my land, or if you do the painting and decorating, that will do. It's an exchange for rent. It doesn't always have to be about money, but it has to be a willingness of people who have more than they need, helping out the people who have less than they need, but not doing it in a way of, I'm better than you, because everybody's got skills, everybody's got something they can do. And I remember, my goodness, I've forgotten about this, but I remember many years ago, I was on the London Tube, and I was going to work, and I met this guy, and he was just chatting, and he was saying that he'd been homeless, and he was desperate. He didn't know what to do, and he'd met this woman on the tube, and she said, "If I will employ you, and I will give you somewhere to live, and I give you a job to do, if you really want to work for it. I'm not going to take any nonsense from you. This isn't anything, not on a personal level, but I will help. I will help you. And he said, that woman changed his life. He worked and he had somewhere to live. And he was said, somebody, sorry, it still gets me now, when kindness, but somebody actually gave him the step up he needed. We all need to do that. We all need to help people who've got less, and to help them give them the means to look after themselves, because some people don't have those means, and the only way that they can survive is by going into a life of crime. They have no other choice. Is not, obviously, we have the criminals that are at the top of the scale. And that's just pure greed, and privilege and things like this. But what these cards are showing is it's desperate people being forced into a life of crime because they have no other way to survive. And so that's the energy about crime. And yeah, sorry, sometimes these things get me. And yeah, okay, I hope that's been interesting, and I'll see you again. Bye.